everybody, John here with Billing Seafood Guys, home of the Wild Alaskan Seafood Box. Thank you so much for watching part 2 of my journey. So we're just really explaining to you guys why we're doing this, how I came about seafood and started this business, and we're just going to dive into this story. So you guys already watched part 1 where I talked about my story growing up in Petersburg, Alaska, commercial fishing. So after high school in Petersburg, Alaska, I actually came down to Missoula, Montana and went to school at the University of Montana. So when I wrapped up school, I wasn't 100% sure, like most people. I really didn't know what I was going to end up doing. I figured I was just going to go back up to Alaska and just keep fishing. But I stumbled across an opportunity to take an internship for a seafood company up in Alaska. So I figured commercial fishing was always going to be there. I was really curious about what happened to the seafood after it was caught, and that's why I really wanted to jump into that opportunity. And I'm really thankful it did, because it led me onto this very long journey that eventually got me here. But so after college, I took an internship with Icicle Seafoods, and about 3 days after I graduated college in Missoula, I flew back up to Alaska, and I was heading out to Bristol Bay. So I ended up flying up to Anchorage, and then I took a plane over to Dillingham, Alaska, and then I took a helicopter over to Togiak. So for those of you that probably don't know, there's a herring season that occurs up in Togiak in Bristol Bay. And so I went out and started my internship for the Togiak herring season. And basically, I was an intern on a floating processor for Icicle Seafoods, and I was learning all about quality assurance. So I was working under the quality assurance manager, I was a technician, and eventually I got into a lot more of the production stuff. So this is where I first started learning all about processing. And I was very lucky that I actually got into the quality side, because most people overlook that. And as you guys know, that's a huge part of our business. And I really go back to when I started as a QA technician in my internship program, where I learned so much of that. And with my connection to commercial fishing, I was very interested in now realizing what an impact we as fishermen had on it, but then all of the handling and quality practices that go into the seafood and the seafood plants or the processors. So from there, I began the journey, from the age of 22 when I graduated college, and then up until, 29. Until I was 29, 30 is when I wrapped up processing. So I went through a big journey. I started as an intern, became an assistant production manager, helping run the production floors. Eventually I moved over to Trident Seafoods, and I became an assistant plant manager over in Cordova, Alaska, in the Prince William Sound area. So I really got tuned into high volume production over there, and also the Copper River fishery. So I was able to get a lot of good experience. And then in the wintertime, I actually spent time out in the Bering Sea area, Dutch Harbor, all along the Alaska Peninsula, the Aleutians. So I got to learn really everything, all about whitefish, all about managing fleets, the big crab boats, the big pollock boats. And eventually, I transitioned to a company called Silver Bay Seafoods, and I was running the largest salmon plant in the state of Alaska up in Bristol Bay. So it was a long journey, but I got through multiple steps where I learned so many of the ins and outs of processing in the Alaska seafood industry. And that eventually led me to where we're going to talk about in number 3 of my journey, where we started Billing Seafood Guys and the Wild Alaskan Seafood Box. Thank you guys so much for watching this.